Welcome back. Taking a live look at New Jersey Governor Chris Christie speaking at the Republican National Convention in Tampa. Let's take a quick listen in.
And say yes rather than to say no, when no is what is required. In recent years, we as a country have too often...
Governor Christie speaking just moments after Mitt Romney's wife, Ann, took the stage just moments ago. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
When Mitt and I met and fell in love, we were determined not to let anything stand in the way of our life together. I was an Episcopalian. He was a Mormon. We were very young, both still in college. There were many reasons to delay marriage, and you know what? We just didn't care. We got married and moved into a basement apartment.
We have our power panel in-house tonight talking about that speech. We have Republican State Representative Rich Workman from Melbourne and Democratic State Rep Scott Randolph from Orlando. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in. All right, Ann was the big ticket item tonight, guys. We waited a day to hear her. There were some delays because of the weather. I want to start with you tonight, Scott. What did you think, Ann? What was her strength here? She really did play to the women in the crowd, that's for sure.
Well, and I think Ann has a compelling story, and she gave a good speech. I mean, I think the fatal flaw in the speech was a presumption that people don't know who Mitt Romney is. And the problem is that the American people do know who Mitt Romney is, and they just don't like him. They don't like his vulture capitalism. They don't like how he's made his money, and they don't like his policies. So she gave a very compelling speech, and it was exactly what they needed at this convention. But again, the problem is the American people know who Mitt Romney is.
Rich, I see you shaking your head. What's your response?
Well, I think her job was to personalize Mitt Romney. You know, we know him as a successful businessman. We know him as a successful governor. And she said, well, look, he's also a successful dad and a meticulous father and a great husband. And I think it was good to see that tonight. I think she did a great job.
What about, Rich, and I want to bring you in on this first, specifically speaking to the women's issues. She had some really powerful lines. She said to the women, you are the best of America. You are the hope of America. There would be no America without you. Now, that's her, attempt at addressing women, and the Democrats would say, well, there's no addressing of the issue that some women are really concerned about, changes to health care, for example. What's your response to what she should or shouldn't have done with regard to that topic?
Well, he's always trailing the polls for Barack Obama with the women vote, and I think one of her jobs tonight was to get out in front and say, listen, we know the issues. We are a team, much like Hillary brought to Bill's ticket. I think that she really resonated with the women tonight, and I think it's going to go a long way to help pick those poll numbers up for Mitt.
Scott, one interesting speaker that was on stage actually just before Ann Romney was Arthur Davis, a former U.S. representative, a former Democrat, who got on and, well, pretty much lambasted the president. I mean, if that's not the perfect person to have at the convention, I don't know who is.
Well, I think every convention has one of those. The Democrats and the Republicans will have and constantly roll out one or two from the other party that they do. But I mean, Ann Romney, again, she gave a great speech. The Republicans got what they wanted, which was national television showing her and not the 8 white guys that came before her that all have a horrendous record on women's issues. Not just choice issues, but economic issues. You got a Republican Party that wants to get rid of minimum wage, that wants to get rid of health care, that wants to get rid of child labor laws in some states, in Maine and Michigan. So they got what they wanted, that national television didn't cover the 8 white guys, the 8 governors that before her that all have horrendous records and really represent what the Republican Party is about.
Rich,
and that's what they got tonight.
Rich, I'm going to just give you a few more seconds to round things out before we have to go.
Well, I spoke for the white guy, talking about the other 8 white guys that spoke before him. I don't know why Scott thinks it's bad that there's some successful white Republicans in the room talking about changing America and making America great once again. I'm thrilled to see what's going on in this convention. I think that we're really bringing the grassroots to a level that we can beat Barack Obama in November.
And in all fairness, Nikki Haley, who is of Indian descent, I believe she's the governor of South Carolina. She did speak. I just have to say, because that was, we saw her face a couple of seconds before.
And again, they made that right at 10 o'clock. Not the 8 guys before her that again have all the horrendous records on women's issues.
We love when you guys come in because it's always a healthy debate. Rich Workman and Scott Randolph, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.